remember us as you shovel those last spadefuls of earth over onto our graves, and pat it down when it's nice and full. You know, throw some flowers on the top for accent, and then promptly forget about us. Just maybe kind of remember us as a generation that came before and did great things. We also did some bad things, but did a lot of great things. But in no way are capable of doing what you did, or what you are doing now, and what you will do. You guys are the Millennials and the Generation Xers that are inheriting the world now, or have inherited the world. Really, there's more Generation Xers now than baby boomers. But nevertheless, you guys have to live with the constant message from us oldsters that you're somehow lacking, that you don't have what it takes, that you didn't get enough common sense, knocked into you through the school of hard knocks, and by parents being too lax, and your education was faulty. Just a whole host of reasons why you're not going to make it, why you're not adequate. Well, I object. I think you have yet to be proven or shown, and what you're already showing so far is ample evidence that you have everything that it takes to inherit the world and to run it better than we could, because you are designed not by any creator or anything like that, but you're designed by circumstance. You're designed by the eras that you grew into, the technology that was available to you. You're designed through the way that your very nature of the way you were raised. You're designed to understand and be able to control and run and develop the world that you're living in. Now, I was thinking about that today as I was watching the end of the Falcon Heavy launch. The SpaceX broadcasters, the young millennial man and woman at the ending, who were doing such a great job of announcing it, even though it may seem a little rough and reckless. That's because their standards are different. They're the generation of vloggers and social media, where the old ways of the Walter Cronkites and Dan Rathers and the like, that kind of a stuffed shirt methodology of broadcasting is a thing of the past. It's more friendly and familiar. And they were doing it just terrific. Their intelligence and wit just kind of came through. And what I loved was at the very end, they threw up a URL and said, "Come join us if you want to join us in our career. Come have a career at SpaceX and help us make the future." And you know what I thought? I thought that invitation was not for me. That invitation was not for anyone in my generation, with the exception of of some very highly qualified engineers and scientists and specialists. I mean, there are people in my generation who certainly find a place in an organization like that. But that real message is to those generations of so-called seeming misfits and incomplete, incompetent individuals, so-called incompetent Generation Xers and Millennials, so-called by my generation, who we tell them they won't have a place, and they're going to struggle and they're not going to make it. That's who they want, because that's the generation that is going to run the future. They are the ones that, like I said before, that will fit in and know how to pull the levers and turn the knobs in a world that the baby boomers will barely even able to comprehend. So don't despair. Go out, do your best. I mean, you're not perfect. Neither was our generation. And then this story that I'm telling is the same every generation before. The baby boomers were likewise in many ways looked at by the greatest generation, the one so-called one generation before ours. And likewise, so too will the millennials in their time, and the Generation Xers. They will regard the ones to come as well as being not quite up to the task, because we just don't understand that our children inherit a world that we won't live in, and so that the skills that they'll need will look alien to us. Now, I'm not saying they're absolutely perfect for that. there's a lot can be wanted, but if you balance that all out, don't take individuals, look at the average. The average Millennial and Generation Xer are the perfect match, the well-tuned match for the world to come. So carry on, be optimistic, look forward to things, have fun, make it a good life and a good world, a world that only you guys can make. When our time comes, throw that last spadeful of earth down on my grave and all the graves of the other baby boomers like me. Throw a couple flowers over the top for seasoning and accent, you know. Be a little respectful to our memories, but then don't hesitate at all to forget about us, at least by individuals. You remember us as a generation, but as individuals, because our time is done, our relevance is over. We did things in our time in the way that no other generation could, just as you're about to do the same. So you Generation Xers and Millennials and all the I guess there's Generation Y and all those other generations that are coming, do your thing in your time, and don't let the words of your parents and those that come before that may criticize you and say you're not worthy, don't let that get you down. Just carry on. I'm going to sign off with that. Have a good life.